What's the value of your worth? That's what we're going to dive into on the next Unleash Your Audacious Confidence show with our guest, Chantel Deniese. She unfortunately is not making it with us live. She did send her apologies. She's having a little issue with her ear right now. And so she asked for me to give you her regrets for not being here live with us during this preview, but she will be here with our show. Haha, I'm still live. Looky here. I just had an internet interruption. So I thought it was a challenge with StreamYard, but the challenge apparently is on my end with my internet. It just went out on me. Anyway, talking about not showing up, right? My internet just went, ah. But Chantal Deniese will be with us for the live show at 5 p.m. Eastern time, ET. And so we're trying to, I'm trying to regroup here. So the American, the American Black Film Festival. Let me just go ahead and share this with you. The American Black Film Festival is coming. So everyone has a story. Yours belongs here. The 26th annual American Black Film Festival on Miami Beach, June 12th to 16th. You can get your tickets now at abff.com/Miami. So the American Black Film Festival, make sure you go check that out. I also want to thank you all for joining me today. If you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, I would love for you to check out our YouTube channel. You can go to youtube.com/Alicia Curry to join us on YouTube. We would love for you to share, because what happens is every Friday we upload our episode. So if this episode is of interest to you, or any of the episodes that we talk about, the topics that we're talking about on these episodes, if any of them interest you and you haven't been able to make our live shows to be in our live studio audience, you can watch the replay every Friday. It launches. So you can go ahead and check us out on Fridays, because you'll get a notification that we are live on Friday. So go subscribe to our YouTube channel so you won't miss out on that. So, what else we have coming up? We have the topic for today. I said the power of your worth. Now, this is it's such an important topic, and I know I struggled for a very long time in my life with this particular idea of worth, value, self-worth. And it wasn't until later on in my life that I started unpacking some of these things. And it was only through developing my self-awareness. And we did an episode several weeks ago on self-awareness. So if you missed that, you can go back again, go to our YouTube channel, check it out if you missed that. But self-awareness is so vital. It's such a vital key in discovering your worth and really leaning into your own value and worthiness. For me, and I can talk for myself, it first came from understanding as a Christian woman who I am in Christ. So that for me. So that's what started my journey in recognizing that I did devalue myself a lot and I didn't feel like I had much worth. Coming from a childhood, now it wasn't abusive or neglectful. My childhood was spent in a country where I was seen as a 5-year-old. In my 5-year-old vision, I was seen as an outcast, and I was seen as so different from everyone else. So I felt that that I didn't have a lot of value because of my differences, because I was so different, because my skin color was different, because my hair texture was different, because my accent was different, because there were just so many things that were different about me that I felt I had no worth or value. And so bringing that into adulthood, because it was never addressed as a child. So I just carried that baggage with me into relationships, into how I showed up, into people pleasing, into diminishing myself and my worth and my skills and my strengths, and diminishing everything about who I am and the value that I brought into any situation. Like, have you ever said to yourself, "Oh, it's no big deal. It's no big deal." You do something and people are like, "Oh my gosh, that's like the best thing since sliced bread." And you're like, "Oh, it's no big deal. I, it's nothing." That's devaluing yourself, and that's limiting your own worth. And so when you do things like that, it sends a message to yourself and your subconscious that what you do has no value. It has no worth because it's nothing. It means nothing. Even though the person telling you says that it means a lot to them, you are pushing that away because you can't possibly own that value for yourself. You can't own that worth for yourself. And so that journey then continued, and it's so unrecognizable. It's just something that, unless someone says something to you specifically, that why are you diminishing yourself like that? Why do you continue to lower or dismiss the value that you bring into situations? It's not until that happens that the self-awareness part actually kicks in. It's like suddenly you're either going to diminish that and say, no, 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 I don't do that. I don't do that, which keeps you in that belief system of unworthiness. Or suddenly you're like, oh, wait a second. I do that, don't I? Where does that come from? And now you start making choices that are different. You start listening to the way you speak and you start doing things differently. So that's some of my ideas of self-worth and how to find your worth and your value, aside from the biggest part for me was my own walk and journey with God. But how do you recognize? Because even with that, I had to listen to how I was speaking and listen to how I was diminishing myself. I'll give you a really good example of that. Um, I was invited into a meeting, a board meeting with some really top heads of some companies. And I was invited to this meeting, and I'm sitting there. And this is about 10, 12 years ago. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, why am I here? What, why was I invited to this? And one of the gentlemen that invited me, and I was the only woman on at the table, and I was the only black person at the table. So I was the only black person at the table, and I was the only black woman at the table, the only woman. And thinking to myself that I didn't belong there, like, why am I here? What am I doing here? And one of the gentlemen that invited me in, he said that I didn't say those words. I guess my posture, whatever. And after the meeting, he said to me that you bring so much to the table, because I made a couple comments during the meeting, and he's like, you bring so much to the table. Oh my goodness. And I was like, what? What do you mean? I don't even know why I was here. I don't even know what I was doing here. Because my own vision for myself, my own image of myself was so low that I couldn't even see the contribution of what I was doing in that space as being valuable. And so that's when I started to actually hear myself speak and recognize, wait a minute, I'm diminishing myself here. Hey, Chaz, so nice to see you. I'm diminishing myself here. And so that's something that we have to start taking an account of, and we have to start listening to how we're speaking about ourselves, because that's where our real belief about ourselves lie. So join us. I did all of that, and I said all of that, and I didn't even tell you how you could join our show live, but you could join us, redcarpetceo.com. We're going live at the top of the hour. At the top of the hour, we're going live. Here's our guest. Hey, Chantel. I will be with you at the top of the hour. I know you're having some challenges at the moment, but you're going to be with us live at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And then that's 2 Pacific and 4 if you're in the Central time zone. But if you go to redcarpetceo.com, we have it says join us live. You can be part of the studio audience. And when you join us live, you can come in, be this part of the studio audience. And then after our 30-minute taping, so it's like any live show, you come in, you sit back, you listen, and then after our live taping, after 30 minutes, we unmute the microphones, we take off the recording, and we can interact, and you can ask questions. And hopefully when Chantel is on during our live show, she will sing for us if she's able to. She will sing for us, but we have so many things in common. You can't even believe it. We have so many things in common in our journey with our children. And I just can't wait to have this conversation with her. You're going to love her. She's an amazing songwriter and performer with a beautiful voice. I'm not that one. I'm not the one with the beautiful voice, and I can perform. So I can't wait to share her with you. So come join us, redcarpetceo.com, live at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And just to give you a little bit about her, she's an entrepreneur, motivational speaker with a deep passion for educating and elevating the essence of self-worth. So she is a performing artist who writes her own songs with messages that speak to a woman's journey. Her new single titled You Got It is an inspiring women's anthem that declares the power of a woman and what she's capable of. She's a certified life coach dedicated to helping women thrive personally, professionally, and spiritually. She's won the national title of Miss US Woman of Achievement, woohoo, which has brought her so many opportunities. And she has an event coming up. Let me share that event with you before I sign off, because I want you to know what she has coming up. She has an event coming up called Woman of Worth. It's going to be this is how you find her, ChantelDeniese.com. But Woman of Worth, let me see. I had it here. Woman of Worth. It's in Houston. So if you're in Houston, Texas, you got to check it out. Go to Woman of Worth. Chantel Deniese, she's putting this on. So go check that out. And just to wrap this up for you, in April, I'm doing a vision workshop. Again, if you missed our retreat, our vision retreat is in April. You can go to vision2024.now.site to register. And it's all about connecting who you are, all your strengths, all your instincts, all the wonderful deliciousness that you are, to your vision, and giving you a roadmap for executing that with power. So you can go to that and join us for that as well. But come on, redcarpetceo.com. Come join us live. We'll see you there. I know I've talked way too long here. This is just a preview of what's to come. And I'm going to be sharing Chantel with you at the top of the hour. So thank you all so much for joining us today on this preview of Unleash Your Audacious Confidence. The show will be live at the top of the hour. See you then.